Hey guys, welcome to JoyScore Live. I'm one of your hosts, Corey, and with me this week we have Kelly.
I'm new. Hi.
Yes, she is new, and she is going to be a great co-host. Just a little bit about JoyScore Live. It all started with Dr. Bob's 2011 book, Joy in Health and Happiness, and the whole concept of the book is to find out your joy score, which through a bunch of different topics, 9 to be specific, you can learn basically how to improve your life, how to improve your joy score as it's defined in the book. And, today we are going to be talking about breathing, which is one of the topics in the book, and later we'll be talking with some experts. But first, let's see how the book actually defines breathing in relation to joy. So the book says, breathing is something so many of us take for granted. Every minute, we're each making an average of 61 inhalations and exhalations. Yet most of us only become conscious of this activity when you sneeze, hiccup, cough, or hold your nose. So, Kelly, do you think that we take breathing for granted?
100%.
Yeah.
I have caught myself, especially after, studying this how breathing is important to our joy score in our life and to create like a joyful lifestyle.
Yeah.
I've gone back and I've thought about it, and I realized that there are times in stress or when I'm working out where I'm holding my breath. Like
you work out, because I don't even do that. So
that is one of the steps to becoming more joyful.
Okay, that's true. It is in there.
But yes, I will catch myself like holding my breath, and I don't realize it, and then when I do, like I take a sigh and I the stress kind of melts away.
Yeah.
And
it's not just physical,
No,
right? It's mental
not.
too.
It is.
And being conscious of that is important. So why do you think that breathing affects joy?
Well, I'm no expert, and of course we do have our experts here with us today to further discuss that, but me as, just a general person living life, trying to get by,
okay, fair enough.
I believe that how breathing affects our personal joy is that I'm assuming breathing does send oxygen up to the brain, and that affects how we think, how we perceive things, probably relieves stress. So that's my guess, but I am no expert. Nobody use me as a quote.
Okay, fair. All right, fair enough. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking with our experts and really get down to this. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back, guys, to JoyScore Live. Once again, I'm one of your hosts, Corey, and
I'm Kelly.
And
you'll learn my name soon.
Yeah, eventually you'll learn her name. It's fine. But today we've got our two experts. We have Susan Phillips and Stuart Fisher, and just welcome to the show. It's so good to have you guys.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, and so just a little bit about them. Susan, you are a fitness trainer. So,
a fitness master.
This is master, a guru. We have been told.
She's a kung fu master.
Kung fu master.
Yeah, really.
And, that's obviously breathing is a very important part of fitness. And so, how did you get into fitness?
I was trying to think. I've always been into fitness in my life.
Unlike Corey.
Yes,
Corey.
I'm not at all.
But I became a trainer about, I think, 25 or 30 years ago, a personal fitness trainer. And I work with people with disordered movement, or who have problems. I like to work with that particular thing at this point in my life. And why do I think that breathing is so important?
Yeah.
Because breathing is really the first biomechanically active thing that you do. We think of walking as our active thing that we do, but really, we actively breathe.
Yeah.
So the most
Except me when I hold my breath.
Except when
and
you
I
hold
don't know
your
it.
breath. And you can't do that for so long.
Yeah.
You're going to try to breathe. But I think it's so important because it affects so many things in the body. So
It's just the first place to start.
It's
right?
the first place to start.
Perfect.
So
All
that's
right.
kind of where I am.
Great. All right.
Yeah.
So, Stuart, you are a cardiologist, which, of course, also has to do immense with health and breathing. So, how did you get into medicine?
Well, that's a long story, and probably we'll have to make this in 3 or 4 parts.
A million years of medical school.
Years of medical school.
That's right.
No, I'm a physician. In fact, this is, again, I'm happy it's my second time here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm truly enjoying dealing with JoyScore and different aspects of health. But cardiology, I went to medical school in the 1970s, then came to Cincinnati for training, and then came out to California for 2 years to do cardiology training, but we ended up staying.
Because it's so beautiful here.
No, because the things I could do here, I actually couldn't do back east.
Interesting.
Oh,
I used
interesting.
to be called an interventional cardiologist, meaning I would do balloon angioplasty, stents. I dealt with many things in the heart. But through the years, I've actually changed my practice as I've had some physical limitations also.
Mm-hmm.
So now I don't get up at 3 in the morning to go
Good.
take care of somebody who's
You're living a more
who's
joyful life.
I'm leading a much more, and so is my wife. So I've been practicing, and I've been in this community since 1985.
Gotcha. You made that decision after you had a heart-to-heart talk with your wife. No, bad joke. Okay, I apologize.
I hire
Something like that.
puns galore.
Yes. So, you guys know each other and have for quite some time, I believe.
Well, it's interesting. When Susan first came to town, we met, and because I used to. I still belong to the Belmont Athletic Club
Mm-hmm.
on 2nd Street, and Susan was one of the trainers there, and she's always been cutting edge. And Susan was my trainer, guys, in the early 1990s. We trained, and we've been friends ever since.
Was it Kung Fu? Did she train you Kung Fu?
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, trust me,
Mine looked like
Susan has trained me to crawl.
Wow.
Susan has trained me to do all kind of things, and that's actually what she does.
Crawl.
She's actually an expert in different movements and just making sure that ergonomically, because I said,
I'm intrigued. Can you tell me a little bit more about this crawling?
Well, Stuart.
Oh no! What did you get me
it's
into?
not about breathing.
No, it's not about breathing. Basically, first, before people can walk, they crawl. And so biomechanically, when people have injuries, what I do with people is I put them, like if it's a knee or a hip or a back, I put them in a crawling thing. I crawl them and I put resistance on the body. So I can load the body in a different fashion. But because the body can't handle it, if you're having pain in the upright posture, then if I'm trying to train you in the upright posture, I have to take you out of that. So because I want to change what you're doing, to change how your body is moving. And that's
You start from the beginning.
Yeah, I start from the beginning.
But part of being in the appropriate posture is, of course, appropriate breathing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it all
Yes.
goes
It all
together.
connects.
And
Yeah.
that's
Oh, it
kind
all
of where
connects.
I've come to.
Yeah.
I just started really realizing how truly important it is. Like the first thing I want to teach people is how to breathe,
Right.
because that's it.
Yeah, well, why don't we get into the breathing? So, breathing is a basic thing, and
Right.
we just read the definition of it is, well, how the book describes it is something that we all take for granted. So,
Like me.
Yeah, we do.
since so many people take it for granted, I mean, how important is it? I mean, you guys tell us.
Well, again, I'll talk briefly about the medicine. We
Yeah.
need oxygen.
Right.
The body needs oxygen, and if you're not breathing, you're not bringing in oxygen.
Yeah.
Oxygen is important to every aspect of our life, every organ system in the body. Obviously, I'm a cardiologist. I deal with the heart. I've seen coronary arteries that are blocked, meaning they're getting no oxygen, and then we're able to open them up, and we're able to re-oxygenate them, and we see them move better.
Yeah.
And see the whole heart start to squeeze better.
And that can be through different techniques of breathing, not just simply breathing, but actually
I mean,
understanding
in other
what
words,
you're doing.
by techniques of breathing, it's actually learning how to increase your overall oxygenation. The more oxygen the body has, the more the different tissues are going to be able to oxygenate.
Gotcha.
So that breathing, I mean, it's breathing in healthy subjects, but it's also breathing in subjects that aren't healthy. Patients with congestive heart failure forget how to breathe. They're breathing very fast. They're breathing very shallow. Patients with chronic obstructive lung disease have terrible lungs, so they're having difficulty breathing. So if they learn different aspects to overall improve their breathing, it helps them clinically also.
And do you think that it is possible? You're saying that these people have like clogged arteries. Do you think breathing could help them with their heart?
Well,
could it improve their situation?
Sounds like it's dire.
Well, breathing is going to increase oxygenation. Sometimes it's my job to mechanically, or used to be my job to mechanically open up arteries. But once the arteries are open, we want to make sure the patients are breathing
but
properly.
they can retrain themselves to breathe properly, correct?
Yeah.
with the proper training.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in terms of fitness, I mean, how much does that play into that?
Well, what I really look at from my perspective is the biomechanics of the breath.
Mm-hmm.
Like 85% of the organs in your body are in your rib cage. So if you think of the rib cage, rather than we think of breathing as the lungs, if you think of the fact that the rib cage is moving when you're breathing, and it's the ability of that rib cage to move in and out. And as the rib cage is moving in and out, it is massaging all the organs of your body. It is helping your physical, like when your rib cage is going in, it's helping you stand with your posture. It's helping you posturally. All the muscles in the body that you use for breathing are used in standing upright. It is amazing the number of things that the breath has to do with your body.
Right.
I mean, and when you're inhaling and exhaling, you were talking about the brain, I think, at one point.
Yes.
The cerebral spinal fluid goes up and down, and now they think that the cerebral spinal fluid has a lot to do with dementia, of clearing dementia out. So the breath and moving and just the biomechanics of doing that, you can change a lot of things in your body.
Interesting. So, I mean, breathing is a two-step process,
Right.
inhaling, exhaling.
Exhale.
How do you think people can do that to bring more benefits, just on a mechanical level?
Well, I really focus now on the fact that the most important thing is, first of all, if you can't exhale, you can't inhale. So I really look at the fact that as you age, your body loses its mobility. And so if you look at a lot of older people, their lungs are way out here. You can barely see them move when their ribs are moving.
Interesting.
But when you're younger, you don't even think about it. Your ribs are moving in and out and in and out, and they're not even. But as you age, it doesn't. And so one of the things I think, also, I forgot to say this, one of the things that learning how to breathe like this affects your metabolism. Like you're really like starting to really use the muscles of your body and starting to work that, it affects your metabolism. So you can help rev up your metabolism a little bit when you do this.
And when you're breathing, it's also very important to understand the diaphragm. You hear
Yes.
stories of people who do voices, or people who are
do
singers learning how to breathe properly when they're singing. And it's getting the diaphragm down, bringing it in. So breathing is, one of the most important things we can do.
Yeah.
It relaxes you. Learning how to step away, take a breath.
Yeah, I mean, from my personal experience, doing voiceover and some singing, if you don't breathe at the right times, you're done. You ruin the take because you kind of
You
mess
run
up.
out of air for that
you run out of
line.
your air,
Yeah.
and you need to,
Yeah.
properly understand how to use air and oxygen, so you don't
But
kill
it's
yourself.
part of your training.
Yeah.
But it becomes part of your training.
Right. I mean, it's all physical.
But if you look at the fact that all of this is working together, like I saw something on 60 Minutes, which really was fascinating to me. There was a guy who was a deep diver,
Oh, yeah.
and he's a free diver.
So scary. I don't know.
I don't know how they do that either, but I watched him, and he inhaled, and his body was just like getting like this. And then when he exhaled and he came out, he could almost flatten his ribs into his
Wow.
back. He had so much control. And I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
look at that ability to do that.
I mean, I guess you have to if you're doing that kind of.
Yeah.
But if you
physical
look at the
stress.
fact that the body is designed that this is the first active thing that you do. If you
Right.
don't breathe, you are not alive.
Yeah.
And so when you're born, the first thing you do is you cry, so that you're exhaling.
Right.
So this is what's really important, is to learn how to be able to actively do this.
Right.
And also for your mind, when you're looking at this and we're talking about joy, the mind can't think of that many things. It wants to think about a lot of things at once.
Yes.
But when you're having
Yes,
to
it does.
focus on the breath and where the breath is going, and you're focusing on the counting and you're focusing on the stuff, that's the most important thing, because it gives the mind something else to focus on besides its insanity.
And there are many cliches.
Plenty of insanity up here.
There are many cliches that really are based on good science. Have we all been in a discussion with a person who's talking too fast and really going, you might say, stop, breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just basically take a breath, just take a step back from what's going on. It's
Yeah.
so important.
Well, speaking of, you mentioned relaxation and the idea
Yeah.
of maybe meditation. So yoga and meditation are very popular methods of relieving stress and, gaining focus, letting go of bad emotions or whatever.
I'm a very newbie yogi.
Yogi Bear? Are you?
Hey, yogis say yogi.
Okay, fair. I didn't know that.
Yoga enthusiasts.
I'm not.
Namaste.
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 Namaste out of that conversation. But so, how important is breathing to something like yoga or meditation?
I'll defer to
Yeah,
Okay,
sounds
okay.
like a
Because
simple
Yeah.
question.
on
That sounds like a
meditation,
simple question.
she knows much more than I do.
Well, yeah. I think it's centered to it. As I said before, the mind is never going to be quiet. So one of the reasons why people do yoga is because they're moving the body, they're focusing on the postures, and then they're doing the breathing so that the mind is having to focus on something. But generally speaking, no one's mind just sits there and goes, that's
Yeah, you can't go
mostly
completely
what you
blank.
do is mostly what people do is they just learn not to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And so with the breathing and you're focusing on the counting and the alternate nostril breathing that you're going to talk about, that's when you get the mind to let go of some of its insanity.
Yeah.
And then you can be more focused and be in the present a little bit more. And the more you learn to be in the present, the more comfortable you become being in the present.
Yeah.
And being in the present is really how you really get to really find joy in life, because there's so much in the presence of life if you're not, your mind learns how to be quiet. So
Yeah.
that's the purpose of that. And I do think that the breath work is it's really the most important part of yoga and meditation.
And doing all that, learning how to breathe, learning how to take a step back, you could actually see people lower their heart rates,
Yeah.
which
That's
is
right.
healthy. People who are very stressed, taking
Yeah.
a step back, breathing calmer, they can literally lower the heart rates and lower their blood pressure, which again is very important for patients that I see. So we
Interesting.
talk about de-stressing. I talk
Yes.
about breathing with my patients all the time.
It's
You know-
funny. No, go
I
ahead.
did not mean to interrupt
No,
you.
Like
Wait,
she might be the newbie, but she's already interrupted.
I
I'm
know.
already
Jeez.
running the show. No.
Kelly, you take it here, I guess.
What you had said actually sparked something that I did have a question about, and I didn't know the answer to. A lot of times when people are stressed out, they breathe into a bag. What is that's supposed to
I've
calm you
always
down?
wondered that.
I'm like, does that actually do anything?
Yes, because what you're doing is, well, I'll ask you. You guys have basic science. When you're breathing out, what are you breathing out?
Carbon dioxide.
Right, and carbon dioxide in high concentrations will actually slow your breathing.
Okay.
So if you have a high, it becomes hyper. It's called hypercapnia, and will actually cause. There are different reflexes you have, so it could actually slow your breathing.
I thought it
Okay.
was toxic in high doses.
Well,
And then you just
it's-
pass out and you're no
mean,
longer
'cause you're
stressed.
not
That's
getting
great.
oxygen. I
not
guess.
carbon monoxide,
Right.
carbon
Right,
dioxide.
exactly.
But again, you have to, there are different concentrations, and this is why just breathing into a bag will actually slow you down.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, cool. Well, we actually, my next question did have to do with carbon.
Oh, my bad.
dioxide. Yeah, that's fine. No, it's a good
Jumping the
segue.
gun.
Do you guys think that other than the physical aspects of just taking in oxygen and breathing out carbon dioxide, that breathing does accomplish anything else? We were talking about kind of the mental things. Like, do you think just the physical act of it just goes right into the mental as well?
Well, I think I said those things.
Yeah.
I said structurally it helps your posture
Mm-hmm.
because it strengthens all the muscles. It keeps you flexible in your spine,
Mm-hmm.
which is really important as you age. It helps you to take the cerebral spinal fluid in and out of the brain, which is really important. And it also massages all the organs of the body, which when you're doing that, you're taking energy in and out of the organs of your body.
It's also clinically I've actually been in situations where I've had some patients with some mild congestive heart failure that can go either way. They're breathing very fast. They're at a precipice where they may slip over and go into really severe congestive heart failure, or potentially come back and get under control. And if you have them breathing exercises, have them slow their breathing, have them focus on other things, you can sometimes bring it back. So again, everything seems to go into breathing, oxygenation, and it's so important.
Gotcha. All right. Well, the book describes a few different breathing techniques.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is the alternate nostril breathing. How does that work exactly? I mean, are there there's some particular breathing techniques that you want to show us actually people can try it out at home or?
Try it on me. I'm ready.
Do you want to try?
I do.
Okay.
Okay, everyone. I have kind of bad posture, so don't judge me.
Oh, you judge the
So
heck out
I'm
of
going to let the master do this. I'll sit
So
back.
what I really want to teach you is just nothing that's particularly difficult to do. I just want to talk a little bit about how the oxygen moves.
I'm
How
ready.
you do this. Okay. Do I
This
take
is
this off
amazing.
or do I leave this on?
Whatever you'd like.
Whatever's
Okay, I'll
comfortable.
Yeah,
take this off.
if you can hear us, that's fine.
Okay, that works for me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, what I'm going to teach you is, I want you to put your hands on your ribs.
On my ribs. Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
this is where the diaphragm is
Okay.
right down here. So there are 3 places that you breathe from. You breathe from that are used in the breath. You use the lower abs, you use the diaphragm, and you use your upper ribs,
Okay.
upper chest. Okay, so what we're going to focus on right now is, well, let's focus on the
Okay.
lower.
I'm
So
very
just-
short-waisted, so everything's right up in the same
no,
area.
No, that's fine. That's
It's such a waste.
That's fine. So what I want you to first do, we're going to breathe into your lower abs. So
Okay.
I want you to hold your little finger and your ring finger like this,
A little.
and the ring finger. This is from the Tao of the breath. And what this does is this takes the oxygen into the lower to the transverse
Okay.
abdominis. And this is important for women to breathe into the transverse abdominis because when they have pregnancy and they go through menopause and they have bloating here, this is really important to pull in to learn how to breathe and to use this
Yeah.
when you're in your breath. So what I want you to do is when you inhale,
Yeah.
I want you to stand. Let's stand up straight here.
Okay.
I want you just relax a second. I want you to inhale. I want you to expand your lower belly.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
Now,
Okay.
when you exhale, I want you to pull in and up and exhale through your lower belly. Just think about pulling the breath in and up. Nice.
Did I do right?
And I want you to keep breathing like that for the next 3 days.
do that
I can't even
forever.
breathe on.
That's okay.
Actually, Susan, do you mind actually holding the mic? Do you mind? Just so then we can hear you a little bit better,
Oh,
I think.
okay. Is this
yeah.
better?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, so so the goal of this exercise, when you're inhaling and exhaling, there are 3 places that you're going to breathe. So this is the first one, is the transfer. This is the lower abs. So sometimes you can just do that. Now, when you exhale, what I want you to think about doing is, I want you to think about pulling the breath in and up below the belly button, about 2 inches above, the pelvic floor, the pelvic pulling through there, and pull. Now, exhale. Now, give me a little exhale. Pull the breath in. Pull the belly in when you exhale. Nice.
Yay!
Yay!
I'm breathing.
Yeah. So that's lower.
Okay.
Okay, so that's something to do. And when you're doing that, okay, then let's do this one. Let's do
Same
the
fingers?
middle. We're going to do the middle finger this
Okay,
time.
middle
because-
finger.
okay,
She's good at using her middle finger.
That's good. Oh.
Don't test me. I'll use it right now.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to inhale and we're going to expand your ribs like you're going to expand your ribs. Nice. And when you exhale, you're going to pull in there.
Was that one good?
Yes,
Okay.
good. Okay, so that's the diaphragm.
Okay.
Okay, now in yoga, they use a lot of the lower breath and they use the abs.
Okay.
In Pilates breathing, they use the diaphragm a lot.
Okay.
And now we're going to go up here. We're going to try the upper breathing.
Do I put my
So
hands
this is where a lot of people sit, and this is more stressful breathing, but we're just going to practice this just so you see this. You're going to do the top 2 fingers. Let's see, it's
Top
the
2,
bottom
okay.
2, the middle, and these top, your finger and thumb. That's pointing.
Like that?
Yeah, anyway. Just kind of put them together because it stimulates that.
Don't
So-
do the heart thing.
Yeah,
You're
you can
doing
do
a
it.
different
so
thing.
all I want you to do is, I want you to inhale.
We're not doing CPR.
Inhale inhale into your upper body. See how you're feeling
That
in
one's
there?
really hard.
It is really hard. And then exhale. And then
Wait, I already
exhale.
exhaled.
That's okay.
I gotta start again.
Because this is where you don't carry that much. You don't carry that much oxygen here. But a lot of people breathe in their upper part of their bodies. They don't even use the lower part.
Mm.
So now, what we're going to do is we're going to put all 3 of those together.
Ooh.
Okay?
Yikes.
Yeah. So, but first, before I tell you this, I want you to think about this. You can relax your hands for a
Okay.
second. I want you to think about the fact that there's a triangle here.
Okay.
And the top of the umbrella is right under here. It's like an umbrella.
Got it.
And the bottom of the umbrella is at your pelvic floor.
Okay.
And that's the handle. Okay?
I get better posture. I'm kind of
Okay,
like.
that's okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is when you inhale, you're going to think about expanding like this. You're going to
Okay.
expand all
so
this.
expand here first and then work my way
Yeah,
down?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, expand here
Oh,
first.
expand.
From the bottom to the top. You're going to open the umbrella from the bottom to the top. Like that. And when you exhale, you're going to exhale from the bottom to the top. Exhale. Exhale. Keep the chest up. And exhale through the ribs. Now, at the very end, I want you to pull up on the
That
top
there?
of the umbrella. Pull up on the top of your umbrella, not here. Here. Did you see how you pull up on the bottom when you
Yeah.
pull up on the top?
Yeah.
That's the posture.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
Now,
That was impressive.
Feel better.
now, if you do that, like
Okay.
practice that 5 minutes a day, practice that when you're not doing anything. first
So
of
the
all,
triangle, start
you-
from the bottom,
start from the bottom.
Inhale.
1, 2, 3.
Up.
Inhale up.
neck, oh no, wait.
Exhale. Push the air
And then
out.
push out, and then neck goes up.
And the neck goes underneath here, like close
Okay.
the umbrella. Think
Okay.
about closing the umbrella and pull up on the handle.
Okay.
And then what you do is you start lifting your body. And what you'll do is you'll create a structure in your body that it's lifting itself from the inside out rather than from the outside in.
Okay.
It's really cool.
This is really cool.
It is cool.
I don't think that I mastered the
And it's
technique.
so easy. Oh, thanks, Stu.
I think it's Corey's turn now.
No, I'm good.
Corey's turn.
I
now.
don't actually breathe. That's just a misconception about me. Well, that was really cool.
That was.
So-
Thank you so much for showing me a really cool new breathing technique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
I
there
mean,
a name
will be
for that?
tested later.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Oh no.
You can do anything with that.
Yeah.
Is there a name for that technique?
It's called active breathing.
Active breathing.
There's a woman called Dana, and this is one of the things I did forget. There's a woman called Dana Santos that talks. She's mobilitymaker.com. She goes and she trains athletes all over the United States. She's with CNN,
Mm-hmm.
and her big thing is if your ribs don't move, you do not have mobility.
Ooh.
So her big thing is
Did my ribs
mobilizing the
move?
rib cage. Yes.
Okay.
Because you're younger and you're able to do that. That was another thing that you get from the breathing is the mobility in your body.
Gotcha.
Like I'm like big on breathing. Can you tell?
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
It's important.
I know. I like it. I think it's really exciting.
I mean, so that was almost an exercise.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So how? I mean, I would assume you would say that breathing exercise is doing it. You said 5 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Doing
Whenever.
that as a routine is probably very important.
It's basically learning how to do things properly.
right.
I think what I learned from Susan years ago is we all do a lot of things not properly.
Right.
And you
Agreed.
literally, we walk, we don't hold up, we don't do.
Yeah.
Some people call it posture. Some people call it appropriate use of the core. But what I've learned from Susan a long, long time ago is learning to do things properly.
Gotcha. Okay, so
Yeah.
training yourself is important in that.
I will definitely be practicing that active breathing method a lot more.
I think you'll find it very interesting in how it changes your body shape and how it changes how you carry your body.
Yeah.
It's really a really powerful thing.
Yeah, well,
So easy.
we talked about like the idea of taking a deep breath before doing things. Maybe as you said, there's a truth in that. Me personally, one of my weird things, if I'm like really tired while I'm driving, I'll just try to take a really big deep breath.
I'm gonna say I just fall asleep.
Well, yes, I'll fall asleep, and I've gotten into many accidents. No, you just take a deep
Yeah.
breath, and that actually can kind of re-energize the brain. Like, do you know? Like,
Well,
what?
actually, I slapped myself in the face.
Well, that's also an option.
Wake
That's our next
Stuart.
chapter is
But, I mean,
self-slapping.
Yeah, self-slapping is another.
But to be serious, I mean, taking a good deep breath, what some people call the cleansing breath, really just kind of wakes you up. It kind of just gets you aware of where you are, your surroundings.
Yeah.
And it's very important.
Is there some sort of physiological? I mean, just because it's
I
a
don't know.
big thing straight to the brain.
I'm sure there is, but I can't quote it right now.
Okay. All right, fair
I
enough.
don't know.
Is there a good place for people to, like what might be a good example for places that people can practice their breathing techniques?
Well, obviously, a studio.
A nice studio. If you've
Studio
got a
is
home
good.
studio, then that's one option.
Well, you can sit right here and do it.
right.
I mean, the thing about the breathing is just like anywhere you are, you can do it. You can do it on the elevator. You can do it anywhere.
I mean, I wouldn't suggest doing it in some of the LA alleyways. You're not going to like those smells.
Yeah, those smells.
Yeah, you might not like that,
But I mean,
but somebody might.
but stop for a second. I mean, what Susan is saying, and I agree completely, is literally wherever you are, you could stop and do something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make sure
That's
that
right.
your core
Yeah.
is tight. Make sure that your back is just
Yeah.
the way it's supposed to be. Make sure that you're breathing properly. Take a few minutes. It doesn't take long to do those exercises she was doing with you, and then
Yeah.
move on.
That's
Right.
right.
And feel where your ribs aren't moving.
It's sort of like a check.
And now that I'm actually aware of my
Yeah.
breathing and I realize like my technique is wrong, I can correct that.
You're
You wanna
totally
say-
I am-
so
I
now you
can't
realize
breathe.
you've been breathing incorrectly,
Incorrectly
your
my
entire life.
entire life.
It's not wrong. It's just not active. It's just like you think about, you feed yourself with a fork and you're actively chewing your food and you're thinking about when you're eating that. But we think breathing
I
is
don't
just
think
like-
everyone thinks about chewing their food.
Maybe they
Some
don't.
people inhale their food.
Some people inhale
Yeah.
their food. Yeah, they
Some
probably
people
do.
breathe food.
Yeah, but you don't think about your breathing and how important it is for your body and how much you can do with it. Like you can feel like if you have ribs that are tight and not moving, like just become aware, like have a relationship. Part of part of the joy of life is that you live in this body. And
For some people, anyway.
yeah, well, but I think part of that is being present with your body.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like the meditation and stuff like that. The more present you are with it, the more you can use it and enjoy it. That's kind of like,
And remember, it's the only one you have.
it's the only one you have this
Very
time.
good point.
And a lot of the parts are not interchangeable.
Until some crazy science fiction stuff comes in, I can download myself into a flash drive.
Yeah, you could do that.
Well, aren't lungs interchangeable?
Nothing is interchangeable. You'd have.
I mean,
well,
there's transplants.
but that's
Oh.
not
Interchangeable.
Oh.
You have to be lucky enough to do well. For either A, sick enough, and B, lucky
Yes.
enough
Yeah.
to be
To
able
have
to
it
get a
effective.
transplant.
Yeah,
It is very
that's a
important.
very
And
good
I'm
point.
sure you'll never be quite the same. I mean,
No.
right?
You're never quite the same, but for example, patients I've dealt with that have needed heart transplants.
My
they
uncle's
were-
had a heart
Well,
transplant.
did you see how sick they were
He's-
prior to
yeah.
the heart transplant? And a lot of times they go back to leading a very normal life.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Well, with your guys' professions, how do you think that those relate to each other? Fitness and cardiology. I'm sure there's a lot
There's got to be some
to talk
crossover.
about there.
I mean, some crossover. There isn't a day that goes by that I'm not talking to a patient, talking about maybe losing a few pounds. It's well known that you see patients with hypertension, elevated blood pressure. A lot of times, one of the first things we do before we start throwing medications at them is to change lifestyle, get them to lose 5-10 pounds, get them to breathe better. But no, seriously, get them to try and change diet, etc., exercise. And again, what we said before, part of exercising is learning how to breathe, doing it properly. So there isn't a day that goes by that I'm not mentioning that in my practice.
Crawl before you can walk.
That's
okay.
true.
Just do what you can do. I mean, I think making changes is one of the most difficult. I, as a fitness trainer, Stuart talks to people all the time and tells them that, but it's very difficult for people to make changes.
Yeah.
So if you can start off with small baby steps, like even small baby steps, and he does that. But it's very hard. So what the best thing to do, and I think this is what this book is all about, is try not to get to his office. You know?
Yeah, try to avoid getting to that spot.
Try to
It's
not
your
need a
fault.
doctor.
You would prefer not to. So
Well, are you trying to say improve your joy score and put me out of business?
Yeah.
That's in the book.
It's a
I'm
good
pretty
thing I'm
sure.
getting a
That's
little
what it says.
older. Okay.
It's okay.
Specifically
I think that's page
Yeah, but
76.
then you can retire and live a more joyful, stress-free
Yes.
life.
Yeah. And so I think that's what this is. That's one of the things that the book is really about, is how to, I mean, if you aren't healthy and you don't have enough oxygen, or you don't have good posture, or you don't have any energy in your body, then you cannot enjoy your life.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons that he wrote this book, is that he wants people to learn how to have a good life and
Right.
to do that. But people have to make changes, and so that's what we're doing, is trying to help them make changes.
Yeah, I mean, making changes.
Everyone
I
out
hate
there
change.
watching this video right now, take a deep breath at this very
Do it.
moment. It's going to help you.
And use your ribs,
And
please.
use your ribs.
I mean, I hate, change. So this is good. I need to have more of that in my life.
You change voices all the time.
That's
you
true.
don't have to-
That's
you don't
all
have to
up
worry-
here.
You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I did have another question about anxiety, actually, because anxiety is something that a lot of people deal with, and very oftentimes when people get either very stressed or have anxiety or something, hyperventilation can come into
Right.
play, and erratic breathing and whatnot. So, I mean, first of all, do you guys know much about the medical side of that? And then, how do you think that those things play into not just everyday life, but maybe more extraordinary circumstances?
Well, I think that's actually very that's a loaded question in many ways, because you can go off in different tangents.
Right.
I mean, obviously, you're talking about different stressors. You're talking about different anxiety. That's one of the first things you see. What do you see? You see the sympathetic nervous system take off. You see people sweating, little beads of sweat. You start seeing them breathe much shallower, faster. Things happen. But if people can learn some of these techniques to realize what they're doing and try and bring themselves back, again, I talked about before, from the precipice, from instead of going over that hill, that cliff, people learning how to breathe and just kind of relax themselves. That's critically important.
Gotcha. All right.
Hopefully
well,
do that without benzodiazepines or something. That would be wonderful.
Hopefully without all the other things. Well, do we want to try the video right now?
Yes, we actually have a member of the
great.
JoyScore team, Jody. She spent last week doing an experiment of one of the breathing techniques that are mentioned in the JoyScore book. The book mentions a few techniques. We have the transformational breath, the Kum Nai, the standing breathing, among others. And she decided to go with the alternate nostril breathing, and she explains how that affected her life, how she felt about doing it. So let's jump into that video.
Yeah, let's play it.
Hey guys, what's up? My name is Jody. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my experience, and we're basically going to be doing a trial on alternate nostril breathing. So alternate nostril breathing is basically a breathing technique that you can do at your own home, reduce stress and make you feel more relaxed. So I have actually never done alternate nostril breathing before, so I'm excited to try this out for you guys. So we're going to be trying it for about 3 days. I'm going to come back and tell you guys how I feel, if it made me feel more relaxed, if I actually noticed a difference or not. Okay, so I have the instructions right here, so I'm going to be looking down, so that's why I'm looking down. I'm just reading the instructions. Okay, so open the palm of your right hand and place the right thumb onto the right nostril to block any air from entering. Wow, that's kind of scary. All fingers on the right hand should be pointing upward. Inhale deeply through the left nostril. When you have completed the inhale, take the right index finger and place it on the left nostril. This looks quite interesting. So we're going to be breathing in through our left nostril, and then we're going to switch and go like this and breathe out through our right nostril. Okay, let's try it. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, I feel so relaxed right now. Like, I'm not even joking to you guys. Wow. Okay, so first impressions, that's insane. I think, like, I'm not sure what the benefit is switching fingers, but like the exhaling part is so relaxing. Wow, wow, wow. But to be honest with you guys, I feel like this breathing exercise is going to be really, really helpful. I think a lot of us don't realize how tensed up we are during the day. I remember I was on Facebook one time and I was scrolling through, and there's a picture and it like was just like, hey, like just a reminder to like unclench your hands, like drop your shoulders, take a deep breath, and then you can continue on, like through Facebook. It was just like a reminder to just like remind you to relax. Okay, so I'm gonna do this for a couple more minutes, and then we're gonna do this for a couple more days. We're gonna see if overall I feel like it's helping me relax or not. So I'll check back in with you guys tomorrow. Also, blow your nose before you do this, just because it's kind of hard when you're congested and you're stuffed up. You gotta clean out the passageways before you begin this. What's up, you guys? So it is actually the next day, so we're gonna go ahead and do our alternate nostril breathing. So cue the relaxing, peaceful music now. Alright guys, I've officially finished my trial of alternate nostril breathing, and you guys, I'm not even joking with you, this is seriously insane. So I tend to be kind of more of like a high-strung, like hyper person, and so doing this, I really didn't realize like how much tension I was like holding in my body just in general throughout the day until I started to do these breathing exercises. I tried to do it for around 2 minutes each day, and let me tell you guys, by the end of those 2 minutes, like your whole body is just relaxed. You can literally feel the stress just like disappear from your body. I'm not even joking with you guys, like I wouldn't promote this unless I actually feel a difference, and I literally feel such a difference. I think this would be a great technique to incorporate into your daily life, just to reduce stress and overall just make you a healthy person. There's a lot of studies on like what oxygen does in your body, and it's really important to get that oxygen into your body, and I think deep breathing or any type of breathing exercise is really going to help, not only with just health but also with reducing your stress in daily life. I would think this would be an amazing thing to incorporate into your daily life, but also maybe if like you have a big test or you have a big exam or a big interview, like just take a couple minutes before and just do this breathing exercise just to really like center yourself and calm yourself back down, bring yourself back down to earth, you know what I mean? Sometimes we get so stressed out. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little trial video. I had a lot of fun doing this for you guys, and I will talk to you guys all later. Bye.
Breathing, and Corey, I saw you were trying it out. What did you think about it?
I think this is funny, first of all.
I know,
but no, yeah, it was good. I mean, I do have congestion occasionally due to allergies, but it's good. I think it's good to do the active part of it. What did you guys think about her technique, first of all? Did she do it right?
I've never seen anybody do this. I see them do that.
Okay.
Okay, so then
it doesn't have to.
I haven't ever seen that.
Okay.
But I have seen this where they press
the key is you want to include one
right. You're
nostril,
closing one,
and then you're
closing
the other.
I haven't ever seen
Whatever
that.
makes you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
This is a little alarming.
But it's fun.
It is fun.
Especially on an elevator.
You know, if you can laugh at yourself doing a silly technique like that, then I feel like you're living life right.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. The first time I saw alternate nostril breathing was I was sitting on a subway in Japan, and there was a man, and the subway was just jammed. We were in the Navy, and my husband was there, and there was this man sitting there. We were on the train. He's just doing the alternate nostril breathing because he's coming home from work, just de-stressing.
Japan takes care of themselves.
Yeah.
They are very good about
Japanese people
self-care.
do that.
Did you ask him, or did you
No.
just watched him do it?
You just
then-
watched
I
him do
wonder
it.
if this means something in Japanese.
No.
Oh yeah,
no.
I'm sure
No, it
this-
doesn't.
actually, I'm pretty
Stop
sure I've
that.
seen a few anime where they do
No.
that, like that
No.
kind
Isn't
of
that
thing.
in Peter Pan?
No.
Probably.
I thought that was in Peter Pan.
I don't know.
But it's supposedly that when you breathe through the left nostril, when you inhale through the left nostril, that you go to the right brain.
Oh.
And the right
Oh.
brain is the calmer brain. That's the one that calms you down.
Got
So
it.
If you
breathing
want-
in
So you're
the left
giving
nostril
energy
gets
to that
your-
one.
Yeah, yes, and the other one, and like if you want to wake your body up more, you would close that other side and breathe through the left nostril or the right nostril to the left brain,
Now,
Interesting.
whichever one goes.
I had a little trouble because I have a slightly deviated septum. So
Yeah. We
can
breathing
tell. It's
out
pretty
of the
obvious.
right nostril caused problems. Now, does
Yeah.
that say something about like my left side of my brain or
Well, there are people who think that you need to have that fixed.
like doctors?
She beat me too.
I don't know anything about
There's
that.
something wrong with you, Kelly.
We knew that.
It's genetics. My brother's was way worse, and he did get his fixed.
Oh
But
wow. Well, I'm
mine's
glad.
mine's bearable.
I'm glad
And
he got
do you
that
wake
thing
up a
good.
lot at night?
I do realize that my nose just does get congested often, and I
Yeah.
don't have allergies.
Do you snore?
You know, I've been told I do, but I also, from stress, grind my teeth. So I feel like people notice the grinding. I have to wear a night guard.
Yeah.
They notice that more than the snoring. So
Wow.
I don't
Yeah.
get told that often, but I have been told
Yeah.
that.
You need to work on the breathing. To
So-
I'm
do
just
the
a
whole
mess.
thing. I mean, jeez.
So one of the things is that your body does automatically breathe through one nostril, and then it closes that nostril off, and it breathes through the other nostril.
Okay.
Like you have these, I don't know, I guess times in your.
So I just do
series.
alternate nostril breathing all the time.
Well, yeah, but everybody does. But
Okay.
what I was saying to you is sometimes when you do have something like a deviated septum, it means that when you are breathing through that nostril, that you are getting less oxygen.
yeah,
So
Interesting.
if it bothers you,
explains
you
a
might
lot.
look
Well,
Yeah.
That
maybe-
explains
at-
a lot.
It just could be an airhead thing.
Yeah, I
you
was
know.
gonna say maybe you're not as much of an airhead as I thought, but she beat me to it. She's
Hey.
got it. No.
Cute.
Cool. Well, I think we wanted to try something a little fun because we're JoyScore. We figured we'd do a quick impromptu, even though we planned it, JoyScore test on
Okay.
you guys.
Okay.
And so normally we would do it 1 out of 100, but I think we're going to do the just 1 out of 10.
Okay.
So 10 is going to be strongly agree with the statement, and 0 is strongly disagree. Kelly is going to be keeping the score for you guys, so don't
excellent.
worry about
So I don't
writing
have
it
to-
down.
Yeah.
No,
put my
I've got
pen
this.
down.
I'll
Good.
mark your scores and then I'll calculate
once she
it.
adds it up, she can see if you're actually joyful or not. Because if you're not, then you're probably going to want to read the book.
I've got the power.
Okay, so, and everyone at home, please feel free to also do this. It's at the end, you'll add up your score, and we'll tell you what it's out of. So,
Or you can take the score
That's right.
online at joyscoreinc.com.
JoyScoreInc.com
It's available.
is where you can also take a version of the test. It's a little bit different, but it's basically the same thing.
Yes.
Okay, so first statement: your thoughts are a product of your mind.
Strongly agree.
Okay,
So
so
a
you
10.
think you think a
Straight 10
straight
for
10,
both of you.
Extremely agree. Okay, there you go. You have a favorable appreciation of yourself.
Susan.
Wow.
I'd say I'm probably a 6 on that. I'm not so
6
good
out
at-
of 10?
Maybe, yes, maybe a 7.
Well, wow.
It was 6
okay.
/ 7.
I agree. I think a 6 or 7.
6.
I'm gonna just put it as
It's healthy.
6.5.
6 point. Okay, if you want to deal with the decimals, that's fine. Okay. You have strong relationships with your family.
I strongly agree.
a
Okay.
10.
10s for both?
10 out of
Yeah.
10. Okay.
Yeah.
Off to a
Boom.
good start.
I didn't put a 10. I put a pretty agree.
I
with
put
it.
a 10. I
mean,
spend
I-
nearly every weekend with my family as of lately.
Okay. I mean, fair
You can
enough.
tell Susan and I are enjoying this.
Like
Good.
each other.
Okay. You feel like you're not under stress. Uh-oh.
I've been a little stressed lately.
I have to say 0.
Oh no!
I just say,
A lot of
It's
stress.
been a little
It's-
stressful.
Is it a
A
zero from
zero?
both?
No, I
Maybe
have to
a
be
three.
maybe a 1 or a 2.
I'll
Okay.
give you a 2.
Lately,
I'm gonna.
two.
work has been a little stressful and some other things.
Okay.
I'm gonna
fair
give you a
enough.
Stuart gets a 3 or 2. This has been very stressful, and
Yeah.
he's handed so.
Well, it's how
you know,
he feels his stress. Are
Yes.
you feeling his stress?
Yeah,
right
Susan
now?
actually knows my wife, so she's feeling.
Oh.
it.
Oh,
stress.
so she knows exactly.
So is it a 2 for you?
Yeah, and I'm probably a 3,
3.
a 4.
Okay.
Okay, I'll give you a 4. I'll give you guys the benefit
Alright.
of the
Okay.
doubt.
Sometimes
Fair
a
enough.
1. Yeah.
All right. Stress apparently an issue. Okay. You think about how your actions will impact others.
Strongly agree.
Strongly agree.
All
10
the
for
time?
both.
All
Yeah,
the
we
time.
probably
Always
do.
thinking. Okay,
Yes.
good. That's good.
Well, I
Okay.
think you appreciate it. I mean, I'm always thinking about things that I'm telling
Time.
patients, things I'm
Right.
telling people.
Yeah, you have to.
That is
Recommending.
that
If you-
is stressful.
If you can't do that, then you can't
And
even
actually,
do the
as
job.
his friend, he's a very kind person. He is.
Well, good.
I can sense
Thank
that.
Yeah, he is.
I'm not going to say anything about
I'm
that.
not, though.
You guys both seem very kind to me.
But as we've said for years, Susan is very special.
Special. Very
I
special.
don't. We don't have that on the score.
I think we are too.
How
We are recording.
special? No, that's not it.
No,
Okay.
it's not on
The
here.
next question is: physical exercise is important.
That's a 10.
10.
10?
Okay, good.
Makes sense. You're both in the health-related profession.
That's right.
You eat right.
Skip that.
I'm a 10. I'm a 10.
Okay.
Susan, I can guarantee Susan is a 10. And there have been times in my life that I'm a 10. Lately, I've been like a -3 for
Okay,
some different
so-
reasons.
You want like a 6?
But that goes.
But he goes and comes again.
I'm sorry, but that goes along with one of the things we're dealing with stress. I think
So you want me to put you at a 6?
I'm
7?
probably a 4 or 5
Okay.
right now.
4,
I'll put you at a 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put you at a 5.
Okay. The next question.
I'm feeling kind today.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You are aware of your breathing technique.
We are now.
That's,
Yeah.
I'm at least a 9 for me.
Okay.
I'm a
good.
10.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
good with
10.
that.
I mean, that makes
I'm always
perfect
with
sense.
it. I think it's fascinating.
You are our experts after all.
Yeah.
And then the last question: wealth is more important, wealth is more than money and material goods.
That's a 10.
The
For
definition.
me,
of
that's a
wealth.
10. And you know, there's a thing I talk with patients all the time that if you have your health, you're the richest person in the world.
Oh, that is. I love that saying. I'm definitely
So,
going to be
health
using that.
is wealth.
So that's a 10 for me.
Okay.
Perfect.
And
10
also,
for me.
also 10. Okay. So, Kelly will be tallying up the
Does she
numbers.
need a computer
there.
or anything?
I think she's using
Serious.
a mini computer.
She's
Dun,
using.
dun, dun.
There were
Kelly,
decimals.
Kelly, you
involved.
actually have some shoes and toes you can kind of use.
Yeah, I got something over here. What a
I mean,
hair
it's-
strand?
It's out of like 90
very
though, isn't it?
serious.
You have 90 toes over there.
Something. I don't know.
Okay, well,
you
this
don't
is
know
good.
my life.
But you know,
I might need to see a doctor.
so this overall score will be out of 90 for this,
Okay.
and you know, anyone at home can also check out the quiz on the website, as we stated earlier, at JoyScoreInc.com. And this is just a preliminary. This isn't going to just tell you exactly how happy you are, but this is like a first step. Where it's like, okay, these are areas where maybe I want to improve myself, or see if I can lower that amount of stress. Apparently,
Enjoy my eating a little more.
yeah, you can enjoy your eating, and then. Well, actually, it sounds like if you might enjoy your eating too much,
Oh,
if you're at a
exactly.
4.
I really think that the most important thing when you're really looking at these is to recognize that this is a process,
Right.
and we are humans, and so
No one's got 100%.
no, and you know,
And it's, as Susan said, it's a process. It can change from day to day or month to month,
That's
And-
true.
depending
yeah.
on many things and how you
from
handle
minute to
them.
minute,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's really just a blueprint and a process to help you get through these 24 hours and deal with the next 24
Exactly.
hours.
Yeah, and
I
how
mean,
to figure it out.
Yeah, we call it the preliminary joy score
Yeah.
because this is the stepping stone to the next
Yeah.
I
getting
agree.
into the
So
details.
you can be present in your life.
So how much?
But
yeah,
so,
that
so
all
the
that
score-
said,
Do we
what
need
percent?
a drum roll for this?
Get the drum roll ready. So, Stuart,
Yes.
you have, or should I call you Dr. Fisher? I'm not sure what the proper.
Well, it's from 8 to 5. It's Dr. Fisher.
Okay.
Right now, it's
right
Stuart.
now,
Yeah, it's a
Stuart's
little
okay.
after.
Just want to be sure. So you got 72.5 points out of 90, which puts you at an 80% joy score in your life right now.
You got a B-
Okay.
in life, apparently.
And I mean, Corey, you got what, an 81.5%?
I was like 81, so I guess I'm marginally happier or joyfuler. Sorry, I kind of beat you there.
And then Susan, you've got 80.5 out of 90 points, which puts you at an 89%.
Wow.
Which is, I got an 87%. So you right now are super
the
joyful.
ladies
Right there
are-
at this moment, I am.
You right now.
The ladies are the most.
The ladies
joyful.
know what's going on. We're a little bit lower on the totem
We know
pole.
life.
Yeah, I know I don't. I won't even claim to know life.
No.
You've got to wait a few years.
Yeah, a few years for that.
And
to
then
happen.
you'll realize you really
You
don't.
never
then
knew
still
anything
don't.
at all.
And then we
You
still
just don't
don't.
know.
Awesome. Well, did we want to talk about?
I could throw in, okay, so we do have some fun facts. We were going to save them
Okay.
for some time, but it looks like we're good on time. So let's learn some new stuff about the respiratory system.
Okay.
Respiratory system.
So,
These are all things we didn't know beforehand.
I did not know them.
Yeah.
I mean, the doctor might know them.
The
I-
doctor
There's
probably
a few
knows.
that I know.
We're going to have to pull a tricky one out of our hat to surprise you. But LiveScience.com had a fascinating article titled, Gasp! 11 Surprising Facts About the Respiratory System.
That's funny that they say gas. but
Yes, with an
that's-
exclamation
that's-
point. I
that's
had to,
witty.
you
That's
know,
fun.
they put an exclamation point. I
They
gotta
did.
give that emotion.
Respect that.
The first one is you lose a lot of water just by breathing. Now, I believe, Stuart, that you knew this before,
Yes.
right? Did you
I
want?
can't give you the whole physiology.
You
of
don't
it,
have to.
But
little
you do
fun
actually-
fact.
Just breathing, you actually are losing water as well. Inhaling, exhaling, you're losing CO2, but you are losing water.
That's
Interesting.
crazy. I never knew that.
So, do you think that people who breathe a lot need to? Well, I mean, it makes sense from a, when you're just very active, you're also
Yeah.
breathing a lot, and I'm
Just
sure it
drink
compounds.
a lot of water.
Drink more
Yeah.
water, people.
Always drink a lot of water.
My next fun fact says some people can hold their breath up to 20 minutes. But we touched
We
upon
discussed that with Susan.
Yeah.
And again, I saw that
20
same
minutes.
episode. I think it was 60 minutes. And these are very special deep sea divers going down
That's so
hundreds
scary.
of feet.
I can't even
And it's
imagine.
amazing.
That sounds so cool, though. You don't want to see a bunch of deep sea stuff.
You know, I do have a problem scuba diving because my ears I cannot pop them right, so I get that pain in my
Really?
ears. Yeah, I tried.
That's eerie.
I was young when I tried it, and I haven't tried it since. I want to say maybe I was
pretty
about
pain.
14, but I tried scuba diving, and the ears just maybe that's a breathing
Maybe it had
problem.
something to do with your septum.
I
don't
know, maybe I'm just
Yeah.
broken. What do I do?
Your whole body's broken. Don't go
I need to
swimming.
see a doctor. The lungs are the only organs that can float on water. Which makes sense. I mean, when you take in a deep breath of, well, I guess, do the lungs hold air when they're outside of the body? Or do you have to pump it with air?
No, the lungs can't hold it.
They can hold air?
Yeah, I mean, this one
Okay.
time I had this lung in my hand. I threw it on some water and it just floated. That was cool. So that was really weird.
Someone could have used that lung. And for my final fun fact, chest movement during breathing isn't the result of air movement. Now, we did study a little bit of chest breathing, but I guess you can breathe without moving. Is that wrong breathing?
No.
No, that's fine. That's
Breathing
No,
is-
acceptable.
Just the mechanism of taking a deep breath. You may not be inhaling or exhaling significantly, but you will be moving your chest.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there are some people that can control their breath, like some yogis and stuff like that, that you think they are
Yogis.
not breathing.
See, I told you it's a word.
No, you have 87% joy. How am I supposed to know
That's
that?
it, yeah. So-
Sounds like you should take some
Yeah.
yoga classes.
Okay,
and
fine.
they can control that, and they can breathe, and their bodies are very, very efficient in how they take in oxygen,
Gotcha.
and they don't really do that.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Fun facts.
All
Now we
right.
all know the respiratory system.
Well,
Kind
let's,
of.
let's not get ahead of
Four
ourselves.
things about the
Yeah.
respiratory system.
It's a little bit of a breath of fresh air
Yes.
information. Okay, so we want to know, where can people find you guys? First of all, I guess we'll start with Susan. You teach and
Yes.
do, where can people look you up?
Well, right now I'm not working. I only have 2 clients that I'm
Okay,
working with right now.
gotcha.
I'm sort of
So people can
Rehabbing
respect
myself.
people can respect you from afar.
You are living a
and
joyful life.
appreciate, Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
Appreciate
good.
yourself.
I mean, okay. Well, so people can, but people can find you here and learn about,
well. They can find me at the Belmont Athletic Club.
All right.
That's where I work.
Okay.
But
cool.
I don't have any new clients right now.
Gotcha.
No,
All right.
That would be the way to say it.
And Stuart, we know that you practice medicine.
I am still actively practicing till I
He's
get
a-
it correct.
I'm not.
I'm a cardiologist in Los Alamitos. The name of our group is Los Alamitos Cardiovascular, and we are a 6-person cardiology group, and our practice is located in Los Alamitos, California.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Cool. Well, I think that, thank you guys so much for coming on. It's been really cool just learning about how apparently our bodies work. I didn't know.
And thank you for the techniques, the demonstration.
Yeah, we are
I enjoyed it.
absolutely
Me
going to
too.
have to do that again.
Yes.
But thank you so much for joining us. And, just in a bit, Kate and Jacob will be joining us for our social media segment. So please stay with us, and we'll be right back. We are joined by Kate. It's good to see you, Kate.
Thank you.
Always fun to see my co-host. And Jacob, of course, always back for social media.
Is your head being cut off? You're like the tallest guy in the company.
Are we decapitating you right now?
Yeah,
'Cause I don't
mean, maybe
need
if
to
I
be
sat
the-
like
yeah,
that.
well,
There
don't
we
do-
go.
don't
Then
do
that'd be better. Okay, let me go
Crunch
down.
your lungs down
He's
into
a
contact
little bit
sizes.
tall.
Okay, no, so I was sitting in the background and I had to make fun of you guys for your Joy scores. What was up with that?
What?
What, an 81?
Yeah, I'm 80%.
I'm proud of my
She's
87.
She's like 6 points ahead of you.
I'm sorry, I was being honest. I guess I just
I mean,
trying to be
okay.
truthful.
I was like almost 100.
What?
So, no, I'm just kidding.
I don't believe
I'm
that
not even
for-
going to tell you my.
Yeah, what was yours?
Somewhere in the 70s.
Oh, I didn't realize. It was a competition, and then yours is
It
lower.
wasn't nutrition. I definitely don't have donuts.
Oh,
on, like, the
mine's
daily.
my nutrition's low, but
I am a pescatarian, so I'm very proud of it.
Seems
That
a
means
little-
you eat fish or you don't eat
I
fish.
eat fish. I do not eat red meats or chicken.
It
I didn't
seems
know that.
Pescatarian.
Good to know.
totally fishy, if you ask me.
All right, guys.
Because I love sushi so much.
Sorry, there's a lot of fish.
It took me a
puns.
second to catch
Yeah,
that.
things are going very swimmingly here.
Tons. Tons
I
on
did it
tons.
on purpose,
They all
guys. I'm
come
so
in
proud of
waves.
myself.
There's a lot of fish puns.
All right,
though.
so
anyway,
is it okay if we talk about social
no,
media
please,
now?
let's do it.
Awesome.
I think we should throw a
I
few
think-
fish puns
All
around.
right, so we'll talk social media. You guys could throw in puns as we go, all right?
Well, yeah,
the pressure's on.
the
us.
scales are coming in our favor. All right, that's the last fish pun. All right, please go.
Are you for real this time or no?
Oh,
Nice.
Netback.
guys, we need to do social media.
Just
Anyway,
get Trout of here, okay?
all right, Jacob. So, what did you think about today's show?
Today went really well. I'm loving the lighting. Sorry, I'm the tech guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lighting
Oh,
is
yeah,
way.
a little bit of
I
credit for
love
Jacob.
it.
Jacob helped set up the lights, and
Look
you
at
know, we
my
got
face.
our
Thank you to
Thomases
the
in the
tech
back
guys
and
in the
Juan
back and for
And Juan.
Jacob. Thank you so
But
much.
Today went really well. I really
Yeah?
enjoyed the show. A lot of energy going around. I really liked it.
It's because we breathed.
It's
a lot.
because we breathed.
We breathe, and that gives us energy.
We breathed
Breathed.
a lot.
I did
That's what
some
it said.
techniques.
I was in the background doing everything. I was like, and then, and
She was
and all
she was
that.
actually just making faces at us.
No. So Jacob, so where do we find where can we watch the show after it's live?
You can watch this on Facebook, on YouTube.
What's that?
That is at JoyScore Inc.
JoyScore Inc. That's
JoyScore
our
Inc.
that's our Facebook page
Always go to
and
JoyScore
for our
Inc.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Awesome, Jacob. So what is going on with the podcast experts, and do we get to hear about them before the show?
Oh yeah, definitely. Every a couple hours before the show, we always have a little biography around them, saying who they are, where they're coming from, and just like how they said they're from where they're from, we have that as well included in our posting.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's going on Thursday?
Thursday is our International Day of Yoga.
What?
For all the
Perfect-
yogis out there.
Perfectly designed to have her
It's my
breathing.
birthday.
That's right. It's also
Happy early
And we have the
birthday.
JoyScore
Almost my birthday.
Oh, that's awesome.
Day one, and I'm already gonna celebrate my birthday.
Jeez, she just asked for everything.
Everybody look at me.
So what's going on Friday?
Friday is our call to action, and so we're going to be checking out our JoyScore website, and you got to sign up for that. Then you get a notification as soon as it's ready. And
What's the at or not the at, the URL?
URL
That's
is
JoyScoreInc.com.
Come on, you know what
correct?
this is.
JoyScoreInc.com.
We like to keep everything consistent.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's JoyScore Inc.
Love it.
Okay.
JoyScore Inc.
Inc with a C. It's
Hey,
incorporated,
wait.
not like.
Did you
tendon-
guys know that it's JoyScore Inc?
What?
It's JoyScore Inc, guys.
This is news to me.
Wait,
can
we say it one more time?
JoyScore Inc.
JoyScore Inc. Give us one of your
he
voices.
said-
Okay, let's hear it in
One
different
of our
voices before we
voices,
get
there
out of
we go.
here.
We're going to JoyScoreInc.com.
All right.
There we go.
Awesome.
And end show.
All right, Corey, go ahead, wrap it up for
Yeah,
us.
so thank you guys so much. Thank you to Kelly for being my co-host for today. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Pleasure
You
for
can
me too.
Usually catch us around on other things like on Twitch and stuff together. But yeah, I think that wraps up JoyScore Live, and please check us out next week.
Teenagers, we're learning more about the hard
Yeah,
problems that teenagers deal with.
the hard problems that teenagers go through, which is a lot. I sort of remember that. That was like
I'm so glad I'm not a teenager
ages
anymore.
ago, but yeah. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and tune in next week.